Everyone's story of living with HIV is unique.
My name is Patrick, and I was linked to CARE in December of 2011. So after I was diagnosed, I was just given a sheet of paper with lists of providers. And so I was ready to get into CARE. I wanted to get into CARE because I knew, based off of already being acclimated to insurance and having providers before, that treating an ailment or an illness is very important right out of the gate. And so what I did was just went down the list on the sheet that I was given, and it was problematic because I would call one provider site and I would set up an appointment and I would show up and they wouldn't have me in their books. I would call and try to reach a front desk receptionist and I would be hung up on, or I would have to leave a message and no one would ever call me back. And so after about a week of trying to get into CARE, my self-advocacy just kind of started to dwindle and I wanted to give up. I just didn't care anymore. I was sick, I was tired, my energy levels were low, and I didn't care anymore. So one of my friends, very dear friend of mine, is HIV positive, and I had the strength to disclose to him, and he was like, "Oh boy, we got to get you to the doctor. Come on, get on the metro, meet me in DC. We're gonna go to a clinic that I go to." So I did that. Got on the train, got into DC, met him at a metro station, and we walked to the clinic. And I went in, filled out necessary paperwork, and minutes later they took me to the back, and I met with benefits, a legal team. I met with my medical case manager, and most importantly, I did my blood draw to get a baseline of where I was at. The second most important thing was I met with my provider the same day, and I will never forget his name. His name is Dr. Maddie. And what's very unique about him was that he's all about being an advocate for yourself and being educated. And so when I walked in the room, he was like, "What do you know about HIV?" And I kind of told him what I was kind of reading and what I kind of knew, but he was like, "You need to know more." So he gave me a website, he gave me a list of information, and he was like, "On your follow-up appointment, all of these definitions like T-cell, viral load, percentage, resistance, HIV, like what the definition is, what the transmittable fluids are, what AIDS is, what defines an AIDS diagnosis." He wanted me to be able to throw back that information without hesitating, because his point was, this is your life, and you may not have me as a provider for the rest of your life, so you need to make sure that you're educated on what it is like to be living with HIV. So if you ever come across an infectious disease doctor or a specialist who is not knowledgeable, you can know right from the gate. And so that was empowering for me, because I found the doctor who cared about me, but most importantly, he wanted to educate me on what it was like and what I needed to know in regards to living with the virus. And that really set the precedence, because now every time I have to go to a new provider, I want to make sure that I'm going to a doctor who is knowledgeable about HIV, more particularly doctors who are knowledgeable about co-infections and other issues that arise from living with HIV down the line as we start to age. So getting into CARE was for me very difficult, but through the help of friends, but most importantly, a doctor who wanted to see me get better, who wanted to see me be an advocate for myself, gave me the necessary tools to be able to be who I am today.
Share your story. #MyPositiveSpin. Learn more at positivespin.hiv.gov.